So I took a discovery flight in a Cessna 172 not too long ago. I have loved aviation and flying on commercial aircraft since I was a young child. So I decided if I don't start now, I might never be able to pursue this dream of being a certified private pilot. So I'm going to try to start that this year. So I'll bring you along with the flight a little bit. I cut a lot of it out, but I'll just show you what's going on. First, we started the engine. Started up quick. You have to prime it. It is a carbureted, naturally aspirated flat 4 engine. So we're getting everything set. We got it all settled in, and now we're going to start taxiing. You just give it a little bit of throttle, and the thing starts to move pretty easily. You don't need to go over 1,000 RPM. And when you're taxiing, you use the brakes, and you can see it's harder than it looks. It's very touchy. So I know there's a finesse to it, and when I start taking classes formally, I'll figure that out. So the next thing you do is you do a run-up, and you put like 1,700 RPMs in the engine, and you make sure that your magnetos are operating, and so you should see a draw coming when those are triggered, and then you know that you have spark anytime you need it, and that's critical. Once we have the run-up done, you just there's no tower here, so you just tell the traffic in the area where you are and what you plan on doing and who you are. And so we're going to go to the hold short line. I did use a DJI Action 3 camera, and I just used a suction cup in the front quarter of the cockpit window. And then you can see our runway that we're holding short on. We're going to radio in and just tell people where we're at, what we're doing. We're going to listen to see who responds and where they're at. You also have an altitude reading on the little white sign, and you can set your altimeter there so that you know where your starting point is. And I will learn more and explain more as I learn if I'm okay with my medical, which I'll get into in another video. So we're obviously clear. There's no traffic coming in right away or in our path as we exit the runway. So we're going to give it some throttle. Just going to go, make sure things are functioning properly. And then you'll see this thing will accelerate pretty quickly. It's just the two of us. Very calm, cool morning. So we get up in the air very quickly. And there we are. So we're going to keep it on full throttle. Mixture's fully in. As much fuel and air going into the engine as possible. After we kind of level off, I'll kind of accelerate the video so that you can just get a sense of what it was like. But very smooth, as you can see. It's pretty rare. There's usually some disturbance from the wind or, heat rising. But it was just like a noisy balloon ride. It was so smooth. It was the perfect day for a discovery flight. So I showed him where my house was, and basically the first thing we did is went to my house, and we did a few circles around the house. So that was kind of cool. Got a little emotional too. I had to turn to him and say, "Hey man, I may get a little emotional," and I was holding it back, but like I said, this is a dream of mine, and to be able to even think of starting is very exciting. All right, let me speed it up a little bit here. All right, so here's where he's let me do some turning. So just practice just doing a few smooth, slow turns. Didn't want to do anything crazy. Important thing is to not, jerk the controls around. It takes input very easily, especially when you're going, almost 100 knots in the air. So it was super smooth. I'll speed this up too, and you can see we just did a few turns, and then we head toward a nice, beautiful lake. So we were out for about an hour in total, and then I'll show you how we did our approach into the airport to do our landing. All right, we're going to do our last couple of turns and head in for our landing. So I'll leave this in real time just so it's pretty interesting. And my goal is to pass this medical, and if the medical examination goes well, FAA approves the exam, and I get certified to operate the aircraft. I plan on doing videos as much as I can. It's up to the instructor during instruction. When I do solos, chances are I can get permission to just do filming. Not sure about if they'll let me do audio, but I'd like to do that as well. But I'm going to very highly focus on aviation once I, Lord willing, get that medical exam passed. So here you go. We're about to land. All right, so as we head over to the taxiway, we're going to cross that hold short line again. You want to get off of that runway. This is where you would tell people in the area that you're off the runway where you're going to go. Now we're going to just park the aircraft, get out, and I'm going to jump for joy. And the guy who helped me with my discovery flight took a photo of me, which you saw in the beginning there. So the journey, it could take months. Like I said, my first hurdle is going to be the medical exam. I'm going to bring all the documentation that was recommended. I'm going to just be honest, and it's really up to the examiner and the FAA, the surgeon in charge, the FAA senior folks. And if I pass that, then I can take the next steps. So I plan on starting ground school immediately once I get that okay. And then I'll pepper in a few flights here and there. just to start applying what I'm learning and to get some content up and see how the process is going to go logistically with audio and video, and try to meet up with a good instructor. So I'm very excited. I'm glad you guys are with me. I appreciate your support. I do have a Patreon account. I'll have a link in the description. And if this all goes well, I'll also create a website, and I'll do some blogs on there, some vlogs, and see how that goes. Maybe some more photography and maybe some unique content. So God bless you guys. Thank you again for your viewership. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day, and I will see you soon. I hope to have an update in a week or two on the medical.